Okay, now we're at the point now we can talk about the jazz blues progression to show how it all works. The theory is easy to understand. There's not much to it. You can see where the two extra chords are put in the second 6 bars. The first 6 bars are just like regular 3-chord blues, but all the action happens in the second set of 6 bars. So the theory is a breeze to understand, no problem. But what my aim here has been with this series is to show you what to do with solo piano. Whether you're a cocktail pianist or just noodling around at home on your own, it's like, what do you do if you're a solo pianist? You want to get a kind of a nice sound out of the jazz blues progression. So that's what we had all the beginning stuff for, learning the bass lines and the turnarounds and the comps. Now we can apply those to the last 6 bars of the progression where we get all those nice blues changes happening. We're going to make our 2-chord and 6-chord as dominant 9 chords. So that means we're going to make a D9 and an A9. So let's look at that D9 first. We're going to use the same formula we did before. We're going to build it either from the 3rd or the 7th. So let's start out by making our D9 from the 3rd. And here's how we do it using the same method that we did before. Make a D7 in the root position and put the 3rd on the bottom. So we invert it up here and then raise the root 1 whole step. The root's D, bring it up to the 9th. That's the D9 position we'll use first. Now for the A9, we're going to put the 7 on the bottom. So let's make our A7 like this first. Rotate it down so the 7th's on the bottom. And raise the root note 1 whole step. There's the root, raise it up to the 9. There's the inversion for A9 we're going to use. And let's make our G9 with that inversion also, because as we go through this sequence, you'll see how the voice leading works very well. So we're going to do that by making our G7 first, put the 7 on the bottom, so it's this inversion. Now raise that root 1 whole step, and we have a G9. So making the chords that way will make a smooth transition between chords to get started with. So our C9 is going to be like this as usual. We're going to just move everything down with that same arrangement of notes to the A9. The D9, we're using it built from the 3rd, and the G9 built from the 7. So those are the voicings we'll use as we come through our 1, 6, 2, 5 portion of the blues progression. Now let's mix in our hip jazz walking bass line. Let's start with just the chord outline left hand for the 1 chord. Now as soon as we start this walk on the 6 chord, it's all going to tie into one big long line. I'm going to take our cool bass line and go, I'm going to come right to the 2 chord, I'm going to come right to the 5 chord, now to the 1 chord. I can keep the same cool walk through all of my chords, and it creates one long continuous line. Let me do it all for you again, starting with the simple 1, 3, 5, 3 on the 1 chord. So we're getting this great jazz chromatic walk line with all the leading tones, and as we come to the chord change, we're coming with a chromatic approach into every one of our chords. And it's a really cool sound. You just start playing it and get the feel of it and get the sound of it in your ears. Now there I'm using our down, up again in triplet feel. Let me count it out in triplets here so you can get the idea where all those anticipations are coming. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. You just get that feeling of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in back of the chords moving. I'll play the whole thing through here a couple of times with some light riffs on the top, just so you can get a feeling how the whole thing sounds up to this point. 1, 2, 3, 4.